Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Road back open. Traffic is flowing again at Western Boulevard and Blue Ridge Road after a crash that caused problems for hours. The work that wrapped up in the last 15 minutes.
And what a beautiful day we have in store. It's starting much cooler than yesterday. I'll let you know when we can see some of the warmer temperatures, but some showers in our forecast as well.
State Fair Day 2 today will be the first full day of fun at the fairground. What you need to know ahead of what's expected to be a busy day and weekend ahead. There's a lot of fun stuff that's happening this weekend.
I'm going to be at the State Fair today.
You guys have to make sure that you guys come and visit Chris. Thanks for joining us. I'm Destiny Patterson.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Yes, I still work at WRAL. I've been gone for a little bit. People have been messaging me. I'm alive. I'm okay. I just got to burn through some PTO days. Use it or lose it, folks.
Yes.
A little reminder.
Yes.
So we were talking about the State Fair today. I'm going to be there. And Elizabeth, I mean, the weather right now is definitely feeling a lot like fall. We like that waking up right now.
Oh, we do. It's comfortably cool out there. You might want to grab a little more of a layer than you had yesterday. 42 is our temperature, but beautiful sunshine. That sun always makes it feel a little bit warmer, but generally we're running anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. Pretty sunshine here in Durham this morning. Again, our temperature at the airport is 42. Looking at 42 as our dew point, meaning it's just nice and dry out there. We dropped into the mid-30s in Roxborough. Could be a little patchy frost there. It's 40 in South Hill and 41 in Goldsboro. And again, running anywhere from 5 to, at this point, 10-ish degrees cooler than this time yesterday. You'll definitely notice it. 63 at lunchtime. If you're headed to the fair, our afternoon highs will be in the upper 60s. We cool off quickly. It's a warmer weekend, but a chance of rain late on Sunday. We'll show you that coming up. Grant?
Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. Throughout this morning, we've been watching this area at Western Boulevard and Blue Ridge Road, where there was a crash early this morning that was causing delays west and eastbound because there was part of the road blocked off. The good news is that scene has cleared out. Allie Cadlebar has been live at that scene throughout this morning. Allie, again, much improved there after some delays this morning and some confusion as well. Glad to see things are much improved there.
Grant, traffic flowing as normal here on Western Boulevard, right near Blue Ridge Road, and it's also right near 440, which you're seeing that traffic flow. Also, utility pole, that's brand new. We have some new traffic lights out here. This intersection, though, was a mess for more than 6 hours. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. The mess was all caused by a crash. You can see that SUV, it is wedged in those trees there. That SUV hit a utility pole and then pulled down traffic lights. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. No serious injuries were reported, but like Grant mentioned, it did cause a lot of confusion for drivers. That confusion now over. The intersection now reopened, flowing as normal. We're working to find out the cause of the crash, Grant.
Yeah, thank you for those updates throughout this morning. I've been watching the roads closely around that area, especially up towards Hillsborough Street as well, closer to the State Fair. I know a lot of folks will be heading out there throughout this morning. So to get a little bit busier in this area, thankfully it cleared up about an hour now before the gates open again this morning. And we'll watch these roads still closely throughout the course of the day to see if we have any delays headed to the State Fair throughout the day today. Also watching some other areas around town. 440 has seen some delays headed westbound this morning. So watching for, again, maybe some minor delays at least. A 4-minute delay from Wake Forest headed south on Highway 1 as well. And also headed south on 87 from Nightdale. A 1-minute delay this morning. Headed eastbound from I-85. A 1-minute delay this morning. Tune us into the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Grant. Breaking news. Raleigh police are investigating after a person walked into WakeMed this morning with a gunshot wound. Police say they responded to shots fired on Thelma Street near Newbern Avenue. Now, this is the scene from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Evidence markers show shell casings in the road. And now we're working to learn if the victim at the hospital was shot at this scene that you're looking at here.
A 74-year-old man accused of shooting someone in Chapel Hill is due in court today. Police say Gary Council is facing several charges. That includes attempted first-degree murder and assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Police say they were called to a shooting near Franklin and Graham Streets, and that was around 6:15 last night. Well, when they arrived, they found a person who was shot in the foot. That person was taken to the hospital, and they are expected to be okay. But police say that it did not take long, though, to track down Council. He's being held without bond.
Today, a funeral service will be held for one of 3 high school football players killed in a car crash last week. Trevor Merritt will be laid to rest today in Fayetteville. Merritt, Nick Williams, and Jayon Elliott all played football at E.E. Smith. They died in a crash in Cumberland County last Thursday. A visitation is also scheduled for Elliott this afternoon at Cunningham and Sons in Fayetteville.
North Carolina Central Homecoming Week gets underway today, and the school will have a number of events from now through next Saturday. In October last year, you may recall, police responded to 2 different shootings on campus as people were gathering for homecoming. 4 people were sent to the hospital in one of those. And so we reached out to NCCU about any heightened security measures in place this year, but they declined to share that information.
Former National Security Advisor John Bolton is expected to turn himself in to federal authorities today. He was indicted by a grand jury yesterday. In the last half hour, we saw Bolton leaving his home in suburban D.C. Prosecutors say he shared, quote, more than 1,000 pages of diary-like entries that contained classified information. Bolton was part of the Trump administration during the president's first term, and he's been critical of President Trump in recent years. Also happening today in Washington, President Donald Trump is expected to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It comes a day after Trump announced plans to meet with Vladimir Putin in Hungary sometime next week. Today, President Trump and Zelensky are expected to talk about whether the U.S. should approve missiles for Ukraine.
Well, day 2 of the North Carolina State Fair gets underway in just a few hours. We're giving you a live look at the fairgrounds this morning. You look about, yeah, pretty quiet, no one there, right? But, fair management is expecting another day of packed crowds. Plenty of people were out there yesterday, though. People were crowding in. They will crowd in later this morning. And the people behind the fair, they're keeping an eye specifically on traffic. Actually, let's bring in WRAL's Monica Casey. She is live at the fairgrounds this morning. Monica, tonight is the second night of Billie Eilish concerts at Lenovo, and that means a lot of people will be in that area.
Good morning. That's right. You can probably see here behind me some people starting to set up, and you can't smell it, but I can smell the food. I'm wondering if it's okay to have a hot dog at 8 a.m. I'm not sure about that, but they are expecting lots of people both here today and on the roads around the fairgrounds. Tonight is day 2 of that 2-day concert by Billie Eilish over at the Lenovo Center. That could have big traffic impacts. Now, yesterday, there weren't any major issues, which was some good news after people did have problems on Tuesday getting over to the Chris Brown concert at Carter Finley. Tonight's concert starts at 7, but the Lenovo lots open at 1. So you'll want to give yourself extra time if you're traveling in this area starting this afternoon.
We didn't really hit any traffic until right before we were going across Wade, and it stopped. So we did sit through a couple light cycles there, but after that, it moved.
Now, when it comes to the fair itself, the director tells us they can handle huge numbers because this event has turnover throughout the day, unlike, say, a concert where everyone's trying to get there and leave at the same time. And on that note, if you plan on coming to the fair later in the evening or tonight, you also could be impacted by traffic as people are leaving that concert. Live in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And like I was saying earlier, please come see us at the State Fair. Meteorologist Grant Skinner and I will be there this morning. That is from 10:30 to 11:30. And then Gerald Owens will be there from 2 to 3 p.m.
You can cast your ballot early in Wake and Cumberland counties right now. Early voting for municipal elections will continue through Saturday, November 1st. Election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Now, in Wake County, you can vote now at the County Board of Elections. 3 more polling places will open up for early voters on Saturday, October 25th. Those will be at the community centers in Garner, Apex, and Cary.
Well, a battle could be brewing in Raleigh after state Republican lawmakers unveiled their proposal for new congressional maps. Now, this is what the current map looks like. There are 4 Democratic districts and 10 Republican-leaning ones. Now, to show you this one right here, this is the newly proposed map with 11 Republican districts and only 3 Democratic ones. Well, this new proposal targets Democratic Congressman Don Davis. He represents District 1 in the northeastern part of the state. People we spoke with in Davis's district are worried about how they would be represented with the new maps. We also spoke with a political expert who says this is all part of a nationwide effort among Republicans to secure more seats in next year's midterms.
This is North Carolina's contribution to what Republicans are trying to do, buy insurance policies that will hopefully stem the tide against them in a midterm year that looks like it's shaping up to be a more Democratic year than Republican.
I don't like it at all. We already don't have a lot. He's pretty much the last one we got left. So it's like, if you take that, what we got left? Like, we don't got no voice.
Republican Majority Leader Brendan Jones posted to X calling the map beautiful. And Congressman Davis issued a statement in response to the proposal. He said, quote, "As we look at new congressional districts, I am considering every option, drawing on my local roots, experience in the military, and commitment to education," end quote. Legislative leaders say they intend to approve the new map next week.
Trip overseas. WRAL is learning new information about a UNC athletics official's visit to Saudi Arabia. What's being said about the nature of that trip?
Plus, competing in the kitchen. Culinary competitions are a staple at the North Carolina State Fair. The delicious finalists for this year's Home Chef Challenge.
And it's a much cooler start this morning. Our temperatures range from 36 in Roxborough to 46 in Fayetteville. Officially at RDU, we dropped down to 39, so the first 30s of the season. I'll let you know why temperatures should be a good bit warmer tomorrow coming up. 8:13, we're going to take a live look at Boone and talk about the weekend. If you're going to be traveling to the mountains or to the beach, you can see this pretty color up here just on the right-hand corner of your screen. It's going to be nice and dry on Saturday in Boone and in the mountains, but Sunday's going to be a little bit wet still. This is going to be a really good weekend for color. The color was kind of coming along last weekend. It may be peaking around, say, between Boone and Grandfather Mountain. Next weekend's probably going to be good for color, and then once we get into November, it's mostly gone. Asheville, 80 degrees for tomorrow, so looking really nice and mild there, but again, much cooler on Sunday, 70 with a good chance for showers up and down the mountains. And we'll see some rain on Sunday night. Looking beautiful at Carolina Beach, and the weekend at the beach is going to look great. There is a little bit of rip current danger. Be on the lookout for that. Moderate potential there. For tomorrow, temperatures will be in the low 70s with lots of sunshine. And then on Sunday, increasing clouds, but pretty warm with mid 70s to nearly 80. We can see temperatures close to 80 degrees around here, but we'll end the day with some showers. I'll show you the timeline coming up. Grant?
Yeah, watching a new accident. This is going to be a crash at Capitol Boulevard westbound near Brentwood Road. Again, we've seen some delays on 440 westbound this morning, but near Brentwood Road and also on Capitol Boulevard, not seeing any delays from this crash so far this morning. So we'll keep a close eye on this area. If we see any more delays, we'll let you know. But right now, westbound on 440, still seeing some delays close to New Bern Avenue and also by Capitol Boulevard as well. You can tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Grant. WRAL is learning UNC football general manager Michael Lombardi's visit to Saudi Arabia on a fundraising trip. This happened before the Tar Heels season kicked off. The university's vice chancellor for communications, Dean Stoyer, confirmed that trip to WRAL. Stoyer called it, quote, exploratory, and said that it was at the invitation of the Saudi host and it was funded by them. Saudi Arabia has invested heavily in sports already, and if UNC did reach some sort of deal, WRAL sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy says there could be some negative reaction to it.
This is a regime that is very oppressive in many ways, and so there's even become a term for it, sports washing, which is where they're using their money to buy influence in the world of sports in hopes of, doing PR, public relations work on behalf of the entire country. I think would certainly draw a lot of concern and certainly a lot of questions.
The soaring cost of college athletics has led many universities to explore non-traditional avenues for more revenue, including private equity.
People magazine is reporting that Bill Belichick pulled out of UNC's docuseries with Hulu in a clash over its focus. Hulu reportedly wanted to delve into his personal life, not just football. People magazine says Belichick and his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, declined to sign appearance releases. That's put the project on hold, at least for now.
The Carolina Hurricanes are still unbeaten to start the NHL season. Seth Jarvis led the way last night as the Canes were in Anaheim to play the Ducks. He scored the game's first 2 goals, and the Canes never looked back. They beat the Ducks 4-1, and now they're 4-0 to start the season. They'll try to make it 5 in a row when they play the Kings in LA tomorrow night.
And the Tar Heels are in California as well. UNC will be in Berkeley tonight for the ACC matchup against the Cal Bears. The Tar Heels have dropped their last 2 games, and they're still looking for their first win of the season in conference play. Kickoff for tonight's game is at 10:30 p.m. And tomorrow, Duke will host Georgia Tech in another crucial ACC matchup. Kickoff for that game at Wallace Wade Stadium is at noon.
A battle of elder quarterbacks in Cincinnati as Joe Flacco and Bengals hosted Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Both quarterbacks had big games. 41-year-old Rodgers threw 4 touchdown passes, while the 40-year-old Flacco threw 3 of those of his own. In the end, it was the Bengals who took the win. The field goal was just 7 seconds left. That gave them the 33-31 edge.
Tough loss to swallow, but there's more NFL action on Sunday on Fox 50. The Carolina Panthers will be in New York to play the Jets. Kickoff for that game is at 1 p.m. Then at 4:25, the second half of a doubleheader sees the Washington Commanders in Dallas taking on the Cowboys. And then after that, do not forget, turn over to WRAL. The 49ers host the Falcons on Sunday Night Football, and kickoff is at 8:15. Coverage starts with Football Night in America at 7.
Culinary competitions are a staple at the State Fair, and the Home Chef Challenge kicked things off with the no-bake pie contest. It looks amazing. William Sarton took 3rd place with his cool, creamy, and Oreo dreamy pie that you just saw. Raspberry white chocolate cream pie, courtesy of Lisa Jolly, earned 2nd place honors. And the blue ribbon went to Fatima Hassan with her dark berry layered cream cheese pie. The Home Chef Challenge continues today with the Street Taco Challenge. So many fun fall events and celebrations in the Triangle this weekend. I mean, I've been saying it for the past few days. We got options.
I mean, if you say, I'm bored this weekend, I don't believe you. So much going on. So let's take a look at WRAL's Out and About Best Bets. The Salt and Smoke and Sound Festival kicks off this weekend in Chapel Hill, and it's bringing together some of the best chefs, pit masters, and musicians in North Carolina. The festival gets underway tomorrow at the Blackwood Farm Park in Chapel Hill, and ticket information is available at saltsmokesound.com.
And happening tomorrow, the 2025 Harvest Fest will get underway in Cary. It'll be the first of 2 harvest events this fall at Good Hope Farm on Morrisville Carpenter Road. It'll include a huge list of local vendors, food trucks, activities for the kids, you name it. It'll be from noon until 4 o'clock. And then the next Harvest Fest event is scheduled for November 15th.
And Destiny, 2 comedy legends will be at the Durham Performing Arts Center this weekend. Steve Martin and Martin Short will be putting on 2 shows tomorrow night. These are shows that were previously scheduled for February 22nd. So if you still have your tickets, good news, they will be honored. The shows are scheduled for 4 and 8 p.m. And for more weekend best bets, you can visit WRAL.com and search Out and About.
Thanks, Chris. And you know what? The good news is that a lot of these events happen right in the middle of the day because it's that time of the year where you bundle up in the morning and then you're able to kind of shed some of those layers throughout the day. Elizabeth, talk about what we're going to see this weekend.
Destiny, that's been especially true this morning. It's been really chilly out there. A good 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday. Right now it's 42 degrees, and we're taking a live look here at the fairgrounds where we're seeing sunshine and we're seeing bright skies everywhere. But look at this. We officially dropped down to 39 this morning at RDU. That's the chilliest since April the 13th. So it is that time of year, certainly. We're still holding on to 36 right now in Roxborough. So that's the one spot where you may run into a little bit of patchy frost on windshields. 43 Southern Pines, 44 in Goldsboro. We're starting to see the temperatures creep up a little bit. We dropped down into the 30s this morning in South Hill, as well as Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Goldsboro. So starting to creep up a bit. This afternoon still stays pretty chilly, looking at lunchtime temperatures in the low 60s, but a high 69, 77 at the fair on Saturday and 78 on Sunday. But Sunday, we're going to wrap up the day with some showers. It's not going to be a washout, but we'll go over that in a few minutes. Saturday, on the other hand, looks beautiful. Sunshine, mild temperatures. If you're headed out to the Georgia Tech game at Duke, tailgating ahead of time, temperatures will be in the 60s, but we climb into the mid 70s during the game in the afternoon. Our next front, our next weather maker is still well to our west. Ahead of it, our temperatures will warm up. That's why we'll be so much warmer tomorrow and Sunday ahead of the front. But watch what happens when that front heads eastward. Notice at 8 a.m. Sunday, it is well to the west. Even at 2 o'clock Sunday, the rain is back into the mountains. By 6 or 7 o'clock, we start to see some of that rain pushing into our area, but it looks like it moves out fairly quickly, and we shouldn't have any rain to deal with for the morning commute on Monday. If you are going to be out during the evening on Sunday, just check in with us again tomorrow and Sunday morning too, just in case the timing on that has changed. Not a lot of rain with this, likely to see around 1/10 of an inch or so, and some areas that we're watching in the tropics, but just a 30% chance that the area in the Caribbean could develop, and then another one in the North Atlantic, only a 10% chance there. Expect the weekend to be dry until Sunday evening, and then after that, we're fairly dry with a dry front that comes through on Tuesday. Grant?
Yeah, I've been watching areas around the State Fair this morning. Of course, we were watching that accident at Western and Blue Ridge Road. Thankfully, it's cleared up, so shouldn't have any delays there. But of course, near Hillsborough Street, Blue Ridge Road, also up towards Wade Avenue, we could see some delays as folks head towards the State Fair this morning. So we'll be monitoring those conditions and let you know if we have any more delays or any crashes in that general area. So far, drive times not seeing any huge issues this morning. A 3-minute delay headed south on Highway 1 from Wake Forest this morning, and a 1-minute delay headed east on I-40 into town. Tune us on the radio, 115 HD3.
All morning long. Thanks, Grant. Superbugs. Doctors are seeing more reports of drug-resistant bacteria, the factors contributing to the rise in infections.
Wedding day arrival. A bride in North Carolina welcomed her child, and she also tied the knot the same day. The people who stepped in to help.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Your time is 8:26. I'm Chris Lovingood. Beautiful fall weather we're waking up to, and meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, she's tracking it all morning long.
Ooh, nice and chilly out there this morning. We dipped into the upper 30s even in the triangle. We're starting to see temperatures warm up slightly, but if you're headed out in the next few hours, you're still probably going to want a jacket. It's nice and cool, crisp, beautiful. Still 37 in Roxborough, but 46 in Fayetteville, 42 Cary, 49 in Goldsboro. Walking the dog this morning again, nice and chilly. Lunchtime 63 this evening. We're back into the low 60s pretty quickly. Nice sunshine today, though, Grant.
Yeah, I've been watching those delays over in Raleigh, so I want to show you the Durham drive times as well. A 9-minute delay now on 98 from NC 50 this morning, headed westbound. So if you're heading into Durham, keep in mind you could have some delays on 98 this morning. The good news is headed west and eastbound on I-40 this morning. Haven't seen any major delays heading into Durham. So again, no big issues there. Of course, if you're heading into Raleigh, you could have some minor delays. You've seen a couple of accidents this morning, but no delays from Chapel Hill headed east on I-40. Tune us in the radio, 115 HD3.
Hey, just a heads up, Western Boulevard and Blue Ridge Road are back open this morning after a crash that took down utility poles. Police say an SUV hit a pole and took down the traffic lights. Teams were able to get the lights back up and the road back open within the last hour. Raleigh police are investigating a case involving a person who walked into Wake Med this morning with a gunshot wound. Officers responded to shots fired on Thelma Street near New Bern Avenue, and we are working to learn if the victim at the hospital was shot at that scene. Next on Fox 50, day 2 of the North Carolina State Fair. And coming up on today, a closer look at Taylor Swift's engagement ring with the woman who made it.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Gorgeous day at the State Fair. Temperatures have dropped into the upper 30s in some places this morning, but we warmed to nearly 70 this afternoon. I'll show you some pretty weather until we get to late Sunday.
Road back open. Traffic is flowing again on Western Boulevard after a crash took down traffic lights. The questions we're asking about that crash this morning.
And it's the first full day of the State Fair. A look ahead at today's events and everything that you need to know about how long you'll wait to get in and out of that parking lot. Thanks for joining us. I'm Destiny Patterson.
And I'm Chris Lovingood. Spoiler alert, probably a while. It's going to be a busy day today, and I hope to see you there. I'll be there at noon. I'll also be there this morning with Grant Skinner, so please come by and say hello to us. Elizabeth Gardner is getting a track on your weather forecast if you do decide to come out to the State Fair.
And you need to know what to wear. We're seeing a colder morning this morning. As much as 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday, but beautiful sunshine. Make sure you've got that sunscreen with you, but don't let that sun fool you. It does stay cool for much of the day. Right now, 42 degrees. We take a live look here at downtown Durham at the Lucky Strike Tower, also looking nice and cool and bright. 42 is our dew point, so a nice crisp start this morning. That's definitely a marker of low humidity. Roxborough is now at 37, but our temperature, even in the Triangle, dipped into the upper 30s this morning. We're going to talk more about what some of those colder temperatures were. Still looking at about 10 to 12 degrees cooler than it was this time yesterday. A chilly afternoon, looking at 63 at lunchtime. If you're headed to the fair, temperatures in the upper 60s, and it will cool off fast. We're back down into the 50s by 8 p.m. if you're staying that long. If you're planning to head out over the weekend, stay tuned. I'm going to show you when we'll see rain on Sunday. Grant?
Yeah, we were watching that crash earlier this morning, Western Boulevard near Blue Ridge Road. Thankfully, that has cleared up. And we're also now watching a vehicle fire at US 70 Glenwood Avenue. That's going to be westbound at Ebenezer Church Road there. So we've seen some delays headed eastbound close to this accident. Thankfully, looking at the latest reports, this is probably about 20 to 30 minutes ago. So the traffic might have cleared up from that. And we don't have any more new reports from this. But as we learn more details, we'll let you know what we're seeing with the overall backups in that area. But just eastbound, seeing some minor delays because of that vehicle fire this morning. It's on US 70 Glenwood Avenue near Ebenezer Church Road. That's going to be headed westbound in that area. So might see some minor delays there. Overall, no major delays on our roadways. We've had some delays on 440 this morning westbound. Also Capitol Boulevard westbound near Brentwood Road. Still a report of a crash there. So might see some delays west and eastbound on Capitol Boulevard because of that accident. And also just to the south on Brentwood Road could have some delays there as well. Tune us on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
So within the past 10 minutes, we're learning new details about a crash that interrupted traffic on Western Boulevard for hours this morning. An SUV hit a utility pole, taking down traffic lights, and police say an early part of their investigation indicates the driver lost control of the vehicle. The driver was not impaired, though. The road was closed for about 6 hours as teams worked to hang the lights back up, and authorities say the driver was not seriously injured in this.
Breaking news, one person walked into Wake Med this morning with a gunshot wound. Before that, Raleigh police say they responded to shots fired on Thelma Street near New Bern Avenue. Now, this is the scene that we captured via WRAL's breaking news tracker. Evidence markers show shell casings in the road, and now we're working to learn if the victim at the hospital was shot at this scene.
And I'm Keely Arthur in the Live Center with new information about a different shooting on New Bern Avenue. This happened Monday. A very sad update from Raleigh police today saying a 16-year-old has been charged with murder and a 53-year-old man is dead. I want to show you where this took place. It was at New Bern Avenue and Pool Road and Raleigh Boulevard. Police saying that the man who died is 53-year-old Michael Dickens. It's unclear how this all happened, but that juvenile, 16 years old, not being named at the time. They're being charged with murder. The Wake County District Attorney now taking this over, but authorities say the investigation is ongoing.
That's a good update there. Thank you for bringing that to us, Keely. Today, the man accused in a shooting in Chapel Hill is expected in court. The shooting happened at 6 p.m. last night near the intersection of Franklin Street and Graham Street. The police chief says it started as a fight between two people and one person was shot in the foot. Chief Salisa Lehu says that it didn't take long to get that suspect into custody, though.
We're really fortunate that we have a downtown police unit that patrols Franklin Street 24/7 and are assigned to this area, and that they could immediately respond and make that arrest.
74-year-old Gary Council was arrested, and he is facing charges including attempted murder.
Republicans in North Carolina have proposed a new congressional map that would impact the state's only swing seat. Take a look at this map. This is the current map, and it has 4 Democratic-leaning districts and 10 Republican-leaning ones. Now, this is the new proposed map, and this one has 11 Republican districts and 3 Democratic ones. The map isn't official yet, but if it's approved, that effect could be consequential. The Republicans' target is Democratic Representative Don Davis. He represents the northeastern corner of the state. Davis issued a statement in response to that proposal. He says, quote, "As we look at new congressional districts, I'm considering every option, drawing on my local roots, experience in the military, and commitment to education."
Former Republican State Supreme Court Justice Bob Orr has been critical of the way the GOP has been redrawing district maps for years. In fact, we spoke with him about this last night, and he says this is just more of the same.
I think there's a fundamental question that people need to be talking about, and that is, if government is manipulating the voter pool so as to create a winnable district for the party in favor, is that a fair election? And does that in any way violate the rights of the citizens of this state to fair elections?
And Orr says he believes the courts will next need to address a fair elections claim at the appellate level, dealing with a specific individual district.
Another round of nationwide protests are set for tomorrow, and several of those protests will be in our area. Back in June, more than 5 million people across the country were part of the No Kings demonstrations. This Saturday, another 1,300 protests are planned. The group says this will be a nonviolent day of action to, quote, defend democratic norms and reject authoritarianism. Around 15 demonstrations are planned in our area. You can find a full list on our website, WRAL.com.
There is so much State Fair fun happening today, and it is the first full day of the fair, and all that excitement comes alongside a concert next door at Lenovo Center tonight. WRAL's Monica Casey explains we're expecting tens of thousands of people to go through the gates today.
It's the first full day of the 2025 North Carolina State Fair, and we're expecting areas like this to be busy with lots of people here enjoying the fun. We are also expecting a lot of traffic both in the parking lot and on the roads around this area. When it comes to the fair itself, the director tells us they can handle huge numbers of people because this event has turnover throughout the day. However, when there are multiple events in the area, traffic can be a problem. This will be day 2 of a Billie Eilish concert at the Lenovo Center. If you're attending the fair late tonight, you could also be impacted by traffic as people leave that concert. Luckily, there were no issues for people last night.
We just heard like a bunch of different events were going on, and we did not want to get like stuck in that traffic and not get on like barricade.
Tonight's concert starts at 7, but the Lenovo Center lots open at 1, so you'll want to give yourself extra time if you're traveling in this area starting this afternoon. Fair officials say this will be a better experience for you and your family if you plan ahead. We know weekdays are often a little less busy than the weekends. Reporting in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And I tell you what, in the next 10 minutes, we'll show you more of the sights and sounds from opening day. Your time this morning is 8:39. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is visiting President Trump at the White House today, and he's expected to ask for air defense systems and Tomahawk missiles. Those have a long enough range for Ukraine to strike Moscow. Trump is floating the idea of providing them, and he also says he plans to meet with Putin in Hungary to discuss bringing the war to an end.
It appears the government shutdown will continue into next week. This is a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where yesterday a divided Senate failed to advance the Republican-led stopgap funding bill after a 10th vote. A majority of Democrats are refusing to vote for the bill unless better health care funding is assured. Senators are set to leave town with no votes planned today or over the weekend. The House is still out of session. This shutdown is the third longest in history. Solar Showdown, North Carolina joins a growing legal fight over millions in canceled clean energy funds. Why state leaders say the EPA went too far and what's at stake for local families.
Silent threat. Superbugs are spreading and North Carolina is not immune. The warning from health experts about what's fueling that surge.
Plus, it's a clear and cool day today. Giving you a live look over Pinehurst. After the break, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us the chance for rain this weekend.
8:43. Sure is a pretty morning out there. Right now it's 43 in Wilson, 42 in Durham, and 46 in Fayetteville. But we did drop into the 30s in some places. I'll show you where coming up in just a few minutes. Across the area, it's a warmer 46 in Fayetteville. It's 42 in Durham, 49 in Goldsboro. Still really chilly out there. Our temperatures this morning have been running at least 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. If you have kids that are going to be headed out for after-school practices, right after school, our high temperature is in the upper 60s. And then after that, later on in the evening, closer to sunset, temperatures will drop down into the low to mid 60s. It looks nice and dry for most of the weekend until late Sunday. I'll show you the timeline for the rain coming up. Grant?
Yeah, watching a new accident. This is going to be off Capitol Boulevard. This is going to be at the entrance ramp between Wake Forest Road and Capitol Boulevard. So this is going to be closer to Raleigh. So if you are headed again anywhere on Capitol Boulevard, headed west or eastbound this morning into town, you could see some delays there this morning from that crash. So keep that in mind this morning. Overall, not seeing any major delays there. Just a minor delay headed westbound on I-440. Wake Forest Road, a 3-minute delay south on Highway 1, and a 1-minute delay headed eastbound on I-40 this morning from I-85 into town. Tune us in the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Grant. North Carolina is joining a nationwide lawsuit against the EPA over $150 million in canceled solar funds. Attorney General Jeff Jackson says the money was supposed to help low-income and rural families install rooftop solar panels. The EPA blames Congress for pulling the plug. State officials say those funds were already obligated and the EPA overstepped its authority. The Solar for All grants were part of the Inflation Reduction Act. Jackson says the lawsuit aims to bring that money back to North Carolina households.
The World Health Organization is warning about superbugs. Basically, they're bacteria that don't respond to standard antibiotics and make simple infections, well, harder to treat. They're estimated to cause 35,000 deaths every year, and it's believed this rise of these superbugs has been caused by an overuse of antibiotics in situations where, frankly, they're just not needed. Dr. Thomas Holland from Duke Health says that includes giving them to someone who has the flu, which is a viral infection.
As the bacteria and the fungi and different germs are evolving, they're always evolving. This is how the world is. And we need to have a pipeline of treatments to handle those. That hasn't kept up. That's one issue. Another issue is surveillance. We need to be able to just know what's out there.
He also says our warming climate also is likely contributing to the rise in infections. That makes North Carolina a more favorable home to these bacteria.
Covering Wake County, the developer of a proposed data center is addressing the community's concerns. The facility would be built on a nearly 200-acre site on the Sharon Harris Road near Apex. That's not far from Duke Energy's Harris Power Plant. Now, some people are pushing back on the center, and they're worried about the potential for energy and water consumption and noise and air pollution. The developer, though, he says his company is working on all of those concerns.
We're going to have a lot of different methods that we can attenuate for it if we need to, in order to ensure that it's not disrupting the neighbors.
What's being done to limit water use?
There isn't any capacity concerns that have been expressed to us about their ability to take reclaimed water from their plant and running it to our site.
He also said the site will meet and exceed any lighting requirements from the town. He says backup generators will be permitted through the EPA.
Legendary Kiss guitarist and vocalist Ace Frehley has died, and Frehley co-founded the rock band back in 1973. He's considered one of the greatest metal guitarists of all time. Fellow bandmates Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley wrote a joint statement. They said, quote, Frehley was an essential and irreplaceable rock soldier and will always be a part of Kiss's legacy. Frehley's cause of death, though, has not been released. He was 74 years old. Well, looks like the Swifties are flooding a museum in Germany. Time for a look now at what's trending.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Swifties. They're in Germany. They're heading to a museum to get a look at a painting that inspired one of her hit songs and music videos. I mean, they're going international here. Several hundred people, including American families from a nearby military base, viewed this painting. I mean, it's incredible the lengths that her fans are willing to go. It's incredible.
Well, and the director of the museum says the opening scene from the Fate of Ophelia video, it bears a striking resemblance to the painting. The painting features Ophelia, Hamlet's beloved, from the Shakespeare play. So it's kind of cool that she's, incorporating cool pieces like that into her music and her music videos. But it's not surprising, right? Like, she's pretty savvy about that kind of thing.
Right. Some interesting little nuggets there. Now, of course, we'll have our team members at the State Fair bringing it back to that exciting event that we have there. They'll be there this week, and they're ready to meet you. Dan Haggerty and Ashley Rowe, they were there for the opening day, and Ashley took a ride on the big slide. Take a look.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Woo! This is crazy. That was a lot faster than I thought it was going to be.
It's always so fun when you get to be a big kid again. Afterward, we asked the fair director what makes the fair so special. Here's his response.
There's no time like fair time, and that means different things to different people. So whatever your favorite part of the fair is, you only can experience that in October, so come on out and experience it.
Yes, and come on out and see us today. WRAL's Chris Lovingood, you heard him say it at the beginning of our show, as well as meteorologist Grant Skinner. They'll be there this morning from 10:30 to 11:30. Gerald Owens will be there from 2 to 3 o'clock.
And you better not bring me any candy corn. If you watch my social media, you know where that reference to. You looked so jealous of Ashley going down that slide. You want to do that at the State Fair, and today's the day to do it.
Okay, but that's you. That's today, right?
I'll go down.
At noon. You can do it live during the noon newscast.
All right, bet. I got you.
All right, you can do it. I know you can. It's really close to our booth, so no excuses. It is beautiful out there, too. You're going to see people out there, though, in sweaters as our temperatures have really cooled off this morning. Taking a look at downtown, this is a look from our Jimmy V camera. Lots of jackets, lots of coats out there at these cool temperatures. Right now it's 42 degrees in the Triangle. Our temperature at lunchtime is only 63, and we dropped to 39. I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you, but 39 was our official low this morning at RDU. That's the coldest since April the 13th. So it's time for us to see temperatures in the 30s, that's for sure, but we just haven't seen much of that yet. Roxborough was at 36 this morning, Chapel Hill 39, Rocky Mount 39, Southern Pines 40, Clinton at 42. So it was a real chilly start out there this morning. We're still holding in the 40s for the most part. 49 in Goldsboro, 46 South Hill, 43 in Southern Pines, and in the Triangle, 46 in Apex, 45 in Holly Springs, 45 in Knightdale. Sweater weather, yep, our normal low is 50. We'll be a little bit cooler than that for tomorrow morning. And then some ups and downs with our temperatures. Warmer Sunday morning, cooler by Tuesday morning. High pressure is with us. Let me back that up again. We do have a little taste of winter to our north, too. A freeze warning and a frost advisory up into northern Virginia and West Virginia. It's not too far from us. So, before you know it, we're going to see those chilly temperatures, but we don't have cold air like that in our 7-day forecast. Nearly 70 this afternoon in Raleigh and Durham, 71 in Fayetteville. Beautiful for Football Friday. Just wear a jacket, a sweater, a coat. Even temperatures will drop into the mid-50s by the end of the game. 77 Saturday, 78 on Sunday. So we do have a warm up, but we will end the day on Sunday with some showers. It's not likely to roll in until right around dinner time. So that gives you the entire day on Sunday to get out and enjoy. After that, we're still looking at relatively dry temperatures as we get through next week.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Just a little bit of rain. I think we can get through it. Before we go to break, here are winning lottery numbers, and we'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.